Zachary Taylor, the 12th President of the United States, died suddenly. His death shocked the nation. Just days before, he had been a robust man. Now he lay dead in the White House. It was July 9, 1851. Taylor had served only 16 months of his term. His passing was a mystery that captivated the nation. The official cause of death, gastroenteritis. This was a common ailment in the 19th century, but the circumstances surrounding Taylor's demise were unusual. He'd enjoyed good health for most of his life. His sudden decline led to speculation. Could something more sinister be at play? Zachary Taylor was a man of the frontier. He embodied the spirit of the early American wilderness, where survival required grit and determination. Born in Virginia in 1784, he grew up in the wilds of Kentucky, a land that was still untamed and full of challenges. His family moved there when he was still a child, seeking new opportunities in the vast, uncharted territories. He had little formal education, attending only sporadic schooling. Instead, he learned from the land and the people around him, gaining practical knowledge that would serve him well in his future endeavors. But he was a skilled soldier and a natural leader. His ability to command respect and inspire his men was evident from an early age. Taylor joined the army at a young age, eager to serve his country and seek adventure. His military career began in 1808, and he quickly proved himself to be a capable and courageous officer. He rose through the ranks, earning the nickname Old Rough, and ready for his unpretentious demeanor and willingness to share the hardships of his men. This nickname reflected his rugged character and straightforward approach to leadership. Taylor's military exploits made him a national hero. His bravery and tactical acumen were celebrated across the country, and he became a symbol of American resilience and strength. He fought with distinction in the Mexican-American War, leading his troops to several key victories. His leadership during battles such as Palo Alto and Buena Vista solidified his reputation as a formidable military commander. His victories captured the public imagination, and he was hailed as a hero in newspapers and public gatherings. The American people admired his tenacity and strategic brilliance. In 1848, he was elected president, despite having no prior political experience. His popularity as a war hero carried him to the highest office in the land. He was a Whig, a party that favored limited government and economic modernization. Taylor's presidency was short-lived, lasting only 16 months before his untimely death in 1850. But it was marked by growing tensions over slavery. The nation was on the brink of division, and Taylor's efforts to maintain unity were met with significant challenges. His stance on the expansion of slavery into new territories was a contentious issue that would continue to shape American politics long after his presidency. The 4th of July, 1850, was a real scorcher in Washington, D.C. President Taylor attended the grand celebrations. The event took place on the expansive grounds of the Washington Monument. The monument was still under construction at that time, but the festivities were grand and lively. Taylor, despite the intense heat, participated fully. He listened to speeches, he watched the parade, he mingled with the enthusiastic crowd. He also enjoyed the various refreshments. Accounts differ on exactly what he consumed that day, but it's known that he partook of iced milk and cherries. Taylor's enjoyment was short-lived. That evening he fell ill. He complained of stomach cramps and nausea. His condition worsened rapidly. Doctors were summoned. They diagnosed him with cholera morbus. This was a catch-all term for severe gastrointestinal distress. The treatment at the time was aggressive. Taylor was given a potent cocktail of drugs. These included calomel, a mercury-based purgative, and opium. The medications did little to help. In fact, they may have worsened his condition. Taylor lingered for 5 days. Then on July 9, 1851, he died. Section 5. A medical mystery. Taylor's sudden death shocked the nation. People struggled to understand how a robust man could succumb so quickly. The official cause of death was gastroenteritis, but many found this explanation unsatisfying. Rumors and speculation filled the void. Some whispered that Taylor had been poisoned. This theory gained traction because of the political climate. The nation was deeply divided over slavery. Taylor, though a slave owner himself, had opposed the expansion of slavery into new territories. This stance had made him enemies. Could one of them have taken his life? Section 6. Whispers of poison. In the annals of history, few tales are as shrouded in mystery and intrigue as the whispers of poison that surrounded the death of President Zachary Taylor. The poisoning theory persisted for decades, casting a long shadow over the events of 1850. People whispered in hushed tones, speculating about the true cause of his untimely demise. It was fueled by the lack of a definitive explanation for Taylor's death. The medical community of the time was baffled, unable to pinpoint a clear cause, which only added to the growing suspicions. Some pointed to the speed of his decline. Taylor, a robust and healthy man, had suddenly fallen ill and deteriorated rapidly, leaving many to wonder if foul play was involved. Others noted the symptoms, which were not typical of all forms of gastroenteritis. The unusual nature of his illness led to further speculation and fear among the public. The fact that Taylor's doctors were unable to save him added to the suspicion. Despite their best efforts, the medical professionals of the time were left helpless, unable to reverse his rapid decline. In the 1980s, a forensic scientist named Clara Rising decided to investigate. Driven by a passion for uncovering the truth, she delved into historical records and sought out physical evidence. She obtained a sample of Taylor's hair from a lock preserved after his death. This small, fragile piece of history held the potential to unlock the secrets of the past. She tested it for arsenic, a common poison in the 19th century. The results were startling, revealing a hidden truth that had been buried for over a century. The levels of arsenic in Taylor's hair were elevated. This discovery suggested that he had been exposed to the poison in the days before his death, raising new questions about the circumstances surrounding his final moments. This suggested that he had been exposed to the poison in the days before his death. The revelation reignited debates and discussions as historians and scientists alike pondered the implications of this newfound evidence. Was it a deliberate act of murder or an accidental exposure? The whispers of poison continue to echo through history, leaving us to wonder about the true fate of President Zachary Taylor. Section 7. Exhumation and examination. Rising's findings reignited the debate over Taylor's death. Some historians dismissed her results. They argued that arsenic was a common ingredient in medicines in the 19th century. Taylor's elevated levels, they claimed, could be explained by his medical treatment. Others, however, found the evidence compelling. They called for a full exhumation and autopsy of Taylor's remains. In 1991, Taylor's body was exhumed from his tomb in Louisville, Kentucky. A team of forensic anthropologists and medical examiners conducted a thorough examination. They took samples of his hair, bones, and soft tissue. These samples were tested for a variety of poisons, including arsenic. Section 8. The weight of evidence. This chapter delves into the intricate details surrounding the mysterious death of Taylor, a figure whose demise has puzzled historians and scientists alike for decades. The results of the exhumation and autopsy were inconclusive. Despite the advanced techniques employed by modern forensic scientists, the exact cause of Taylor's death remained elusive. No significant levels of arsenic or any other poison were found in Taylor's remains. This was a crucial finding, as it ruled out one of the most popular theories that had circulated for years. The forensic anthropologists did note that Taylor's bones showed signs of being buried in an area with high levels of arsenic in the soil. This discovery added a layer of complexity to the investigation. This could explain the elevated levels found in his hair. By Clara Rising. Rising, a historian with a keen interest in Taylor's life, had initially brought attention to these elevated levels, sparking renewed interest in the case. The medical examiners concluded that Taylor had likely died from some form of gastroenteritis. This conclusion was based on the symptoms he exhibited before his death, which were consistent with severe gastrointestinal distress. They could not pinpoint the exact cause. The lack of definitive evidence left many questions unanswered, fueling further speculation and debate. But they speculated that it could have been caused by bacteria in the food or water he consumed. During that period, food and water sources were often contaminated, leading to frequent outbreaks of illness. They also noted that the combination of heat, overexertion, and the medications he was given could have contributed to his death. Taylor's rigorous schedule and the harsh conditions he endured likely exacerbated his condition, making recovery difficult. Historical records and personal letters from Taylor's time provide additional context, revealing that he had been suffering from various ailments in the months leading up to his death. These documents paint a picture of a man whose health was in steady decline. The medical practices of the 19th century were rudimentary compared to today's standards. Treatments often involved the use of mercury and other toxic substances which could have further compromised Taylor's health. In his final days, Taylor was reportedly in great distress, suffering from severe abdominal pain and dehydration. Despite the best efforts of his physicians, his condition worsened rapidly. The mystery of Taylor's death remains unsolved, but the weight of evidence suggests a combination of factors. While the exact cause may never be known, the investigation has provided valuable insights into the challenges of historical forensic analysis. Taylor's story is a poignant reminder of the limitations of medical knowledge in the past and the enduring quest for answers in the face of historical mysteries. Section 9. History's Verdict. The exhumation and autopsy of Zachary Taylor did not solve the mystery of his death, but they did provide valuable information. The lack of evidence of poisoning led most historians to conclude that Taylor died of natural causes. The exact nature of his illness may never be known, but the most likely explanation is that he succumbed to a bacterial infection. The story of Zachary Taylor's death is a reminder of the limits of historical knowledge. Despite our best efforts, some mysteries may remain unsolved. It is also a reminder of the fragility of life, even for those in positions of power. Section 10. A legacy unchanged. Zachary Taylor's presidency was brief, but he left a lasting mark on American history. He was a war hero who became president. He was a slave owner who opposed the expansion of slavery. He was a man of contradictions who led the nation during a time of great turmoil. His death, though shrouded in mystery, did not diminish his legacy. Taylor is remembered as a man of principle and action. He was a leader who was not afraid to take on tough challenges. His story continues to fascinate and inspire us today.